So I have a few things to say about this Manafort slash Cohen incident that occurred. Now, many of you may know by now that Paul Manafort, involved in Trump's 2016 campaign, has been convicted, found guilty of 8 counts of tax evasion. Of course, this tax evasion occurred a long time ago before the 2016 campaign, so quite frankly, right then and there, it's irrelevant. I mean, when it comes to Trump and the Trump derangement syndrome that is now ensuing all over social media and all over the media itself, the mainstream media, this is completely irrelevant. It's also completely irrelevant to the Russia conspiracy theory with Putin and Trump hanging out together on weekends and all that stuff. Yeah, that has nothing to do with any of this. In fact, I think that's going to go away from now on. It's amazing to see people hysterical over, this recent news. And of course, it doesn't relate to Russia. Mueller is the one investigating this whole issue with Manafort, and now Cohen as well. I'll get to that in a second. And how did this investigation start? How did Mueller and this special counsel emerge from this random conspiracy theory, this hunch that Trump was working with the Russians? That's pretty much it. And now, look what we found. We found all of this proof that, wait a minute, proof of other things that all of the deep state guys like Manafort do. Tax evasion. You ever read the Panama Papers? It came out a few years ago. Plenty of politicians and heads of state and rich people evade taxes, folks. I mean, this is nothing. And Manafort is a total scumbag anyway. This guy he's worked for the Democrats and for the Republicans as well. And yeah, he worked for Trump for a bit of a time. And it shouldn't surprise you that he evaded taxes. I think he's 100% guilty, and I don't care if he goes to jail. That's not any of my concern. And it doesn't relate to Trump, and it also doesn't relate to Russia. So I don't see what the news is there. I don't even know what... I just don't understand what the news is. I just don't get it. Why is it even news? Some guy, Manafort, is getting sent to prison for tax evasion. Well, good. I don't know, great. I don't care. So there's that. And what I find interesting about the Manafort situation is this. All of the upper echelon people, like the Clintons, for instance, like the Harrimans, like George Soros, like the Koch brothers, and all these globalists and deep state people, they all evade taxes and they all know it. And they don't ever rat on each other. They don't ever go after each other or expose each other. It's like an unwritten rule amongst the quote-unquote elite, right? It really is. And they all know this. It's an unwritten rule. But they hate Trump so much that they're willing to throw their own under the bus. A guy like Manafort, 100% in the club. They're willing to do that just to get to Trump, just to make Trump look bad. That's my opinion, at least. I mean, I can't see any other reasonable conclusion from this. I will say there's another angle to all of this that I'll cover toward the end of the video, which is pretty interesting. But now on to Cohen, Trump's former personal lawyer. Pled guilty to multiple counts of bank fraud, and I think one of them might have been tax evasion. But the big one that people are talking about is the one that breaks campaign finance laws, apparently, when a payment was made to Stormy Daniels and another woman, I forget her name, it doesn't come to me at the moment, at the direction of Trump. So Trump told his lawyer, apparently, to pay off Stormy Daniels and to pay off another woman so that they would shut up and not tell the whole world about how Trump hooked up with them. allegedly had sex with them, or whatever, he likes to do, right? So this was during the campaign, or actually right before the campaign, technically. This is what I've been reading on. So this is a few weeks before the campaign. They sort of gave hush money to these, women. And these women, someone like Stormy Daniels was known to have been threatening this, to tell the world about all of this. So really what it is it was blackmail. And so then they paid her, and now they're getting in trouble for it. It's like, okay. And the whole argument here is that Trump apparently used his personal money to do this, and that, it was meant to affect the campaign, the presidential campaign. And if you use personal money and use it toward a presidential campaign without reporting it, without keeping it in the campaign finance bucket, without documenting that, well, then that's illegal. Right? I mean, it's not even that he used campaign funds for personal gain. That's usually what you would think, right? When it comes to corrupt politicians, they're ciphering people's money and using it for personal gain. No, it's the other way around. It's like, this guy can't have a private life. It's like Trump. He's not allowed to. By the way, it's not illegal to pay somebody to shut up about something. It's called a non-disclosure agreement. They happen all the time. I mean, but you can't do it because he was running for president a couple weeks later. So now it's illegal, and I don't even think it affected the campaign anyway. Do you really think anybody would have not voted for Trump if they knew he fucked Stormy Daniels? I know. I don't care. I mean, who would have cared? I mean, everyone knows he did anyway, so doesn't even matter. Why do people know? Because Stormy Daniels broke her contract, that she would shut up about it. So she blackmailed them, broke the contract, and now Trump's getting in trouble for it. Well, not Trump, but his lawyer's getting in trouble for it. So, and it wasn't even Trump that made the payment, it was his lawyer anyway. So, I mean, the whole thing is just, it really doesn't even touch Trump legally at this point. I don't even think Cohen did anything illegal either. But, of course, they're trying to trump anything up on Trump that they can, pun intended, to not necessarily put him in prison. You see, I don't think that's the goal with all of this. I think they flipped Cohen. They may have threatened his family. God knows how they flipped Cohen. Maybe Cohen was in on it the whole time. But there's no way Trump can go to jail for this. That's impossible. He didn't do anything illegal. Cohen, it's debatable if Cohen did anything illegal. I'm not an expert on any of this, so, but I know from what I've been reading, Trump is protected, and now what's going to happen is that they're going to use this, the Democratic Party mainly, to try to impeach Trump in the coming next couple years. They're hoping that they can somehow get away with winning a majority in the House and a majority in the Senate, which I think is laughable. I don't think the Democrats will win a majority in the Senate, but they're really betting on doing well in this midterm election in November, in just a couple months. Now, I guess it's possible. I mean, I'm not a political expert. Go to guys like Sticks, Hex, and Hammer for that, man. I am not a political expert. But from what I'm reading, I don't think, they'll be able to win the Senate majority, and maybe they'll win the House. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of Trump hysteria out there. Maybe a lot of those normies that don't actually follow politics at all, because they saw one skit from Jon Stewart, they're going to go vote for the local Democrat. I don't know. And that will, increase voter turnout with the Democrats. I don't know. Maybe they'll win. I will say this. Hypothetically, unlikely, but hypothetically, if the Democrats did win House and Senate, I think Trump could get impeached for this. It doesn't necessarily... I'm not an expert on impeachment either, but I don't think it necessarily has to be fully illegal for them to try to impeach somebody. It doesn't mean he'll be removed from president, but they could try to impeach him if they win majority in Congress. But it's a long stretch. But what else do they got? I mean, they're literally, this is a soft coup attempt. That's what it is. This is a well thought out soft coup. And they're very, very mad. They're very, very butthurt. So they're going to do whatever they can to try to oust Trump out of office. Anything possible. So that's why, look, if you really want to keep someone like Trump in office, and look, I will say this, I'm not like a huge fan of Trump. But, I mean, like, been pretty good on gun rights, been pretty good on immigration, been pretty good on lowering taxes, been pretty good on all the things that I would like to see happen. Not perfect, but a lot better than I think Hillary Clinton would have done. You can say it's all part of the plan anyway, whatever. Hey, taxes were cut. I'm happy. My gun rights aren't being taken right now as much as they were under Obama. I'm happy with that. It's better than nothing. So I would suggest you go vote either independent or conservative this midterm. The midterm's key. This midterm is actually 2020 presidential election. That's what it is right now. So if you want to see less political correctness being legislated, and less free speech being taken away, and more gun rights, and the things I listed, yeah, I would go vote for either GOP or someone independent who's more conservative leaning, because this election is very important. Anyway, sorry guys, my sound actually just cut out inexplicably. I have no idea why, but regardless, that was pretty much all I needed to say for today on this topic. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. For real. Drop a comment below. I love reading your guys' comments. And don't forget to follow me on Gab and on BitChute as well. We need to start migrating to these alternative platforms. If you do have a Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter as well. And also, if you believe in what I do, please feel free to contribute on Patreon or with PayPal, Bitcoin, or Ether. Anyway, I'm out, guys. Again, let me know what you think. It's been Press. As always, keep your head up, stay real, and no fear.